What's up, peeps? Nick Battle, aka NinosCorner, man. First off, if you like this content that's coming your way, go hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to get all the notifications. It means a lot, guys. Man, week one is in the books. Texas just beat Louisiana Lafayette by 20 points, 38-18. I predicted the score, guys, of 31-17. Bested my score, 38-18. 20-point lead, actually win. A great first week when it comes to this Texas team. This is something, guys, that we have been looking for, was to see did the all gas no brakes moniker, as you see on my hat here, shameless plug by my guys. From Last Stand Hats, man. Shout out to Mike and his team. But all gas, no brakes, meaning, hey guys, we're going to put our foot on your throat and we're not going to let up. And that is exactly what Texas did. Too far in the past, I don't know, 7, 8 years, Texas has basically played down to their competition. They have definitely played down to their competition, which is something that Texas does not need to do. Texas has the talent. They always recruit, either the number 1, number 2 team in the Big 12 when it comes to recruiting. Always, generally, top 10 classes for the nation. So they have the talent. The thing is, can they get a coach who can mold that talent together to where Texas can actually go out there and do what they're supposed to do on a daily basis? And folks, I think we got ourselves a coach. So Steve Sarkisian, brand new coach, first game at Texas. We're able to see what he was able to do and scheme with this offense and these skill players. No, we do not have the skill players that he had at Alabama. However, we do have some pretty damn good, skill players. Bijan Robinson might be the best running back here in the nation. Jordan Whittington, I think it's going to open a lot of eyes here on the national stage. He's just been hurt for the last 2 years here at Texas, but now a fully healthy Jordan Whittington kind of reminds you a little bit of Devin Duvernay. And I'm not saying as far as speed or size. What I'm saying is when Jordan Whittington gets that ball in his hands, guys, he is exactly what we thought he was going to be, a running back after he catches the ball, which is exactly what Devin Duvernay was. Hard to bring down, strong lower base, strong legs, able to extend plays with his yards after catch. Great all-around game. So a couple of things that I did notice from this game that I absolutely loved was Steve Sarkisian is not going to play around. He is not going to substitute, players in and out. Only 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end got catches this game, or even targets. And those 3 wide receivers were Josh Moore, Xavier Worthy, the freshman, and Jordan Whittington. Those tight ends, Kate Brewer, he had 1 catch. So we only had 4 guys that were not running backs who got catches on this team, which shows that he is going to value continuity between his receivers and his tight ends with his brand new quarterback. And speaking about quarterbacks, guys, we're going to talk about Hudson Card. Hudson Card played a hell of a game. I don't think there's any way that you can dice this up. Even his misses were misses that were going to be misses. They were not going to be intercepted. They were balls that either his guys were going to catch or they were just going to be interceptions. I'm sorry, not interceptions, guys, just incompletions. And that's what you want from your quarterback. You don't want your quarterback to gunsling all the time and try to force balls in small windows and have opportunity to get picked off. We saw that happen with a couple teams this past week. You saw the kid out of Texas A&M, King. He threw 3 interceptions against Kent State. You saw that against, Spencer Rattler against Tulane, a couple of interceptions there. And that's cool to be a gunslinger, and that's great. But the objective of the game, at the quarterback position is to limit the turnovers, lead your team, and do what you got to do to get that W. And I think Hudson Card actually did that. It's good to see Casey Thompson get some play here in the 4th quarter. He played the last drive of the 3rd quarter, and then the entire 4th quarter. He had a good game too, 4 out of 5, a touchdown also. But just a great game all around. Defensive line was great. One thing I did notice, I didn't see Alfred Collins out there, if at all any. I did see Vernon Broughton out there a lot. A good rotation of players. I saw Sweat. I saw Jacoby Jones, Snacks, a.k.a. Coburn. We saw Ojimo had a really good game as well. They were just really deep along that defensive line. So Ovia Gofo was out there as well. Ray Thornton. You saw a bunch of players out there making a bunch of plays. Even Jet Bush got a sack last, on a Saturday. Linebackers played great. Overshawn, Brockenmeyer. Man, I think they totaled 23 tackles just between the 2 of those guys. They were all over the place. They were just an amazing duo. The secondary played really well as well. Jamison, Thompson, B.J. Foster, who else? Brendan Schooler played well as well. After Jamison got hurt, we got to saw Dunn play in the game. He played really well. Forced a fumble. We got to see Jade Baron. He played also really well himself. Texas defense looked really good. Very stout at the line. They controlled the line of scrimmage, limited, the folks down in Louisiana to not have many yards on the ground. And they just shook up Levi Lewis. They're a quarterback. They're a very experienced quarterback. So, guys, great all-around game. It was good to see Texas through all the phases do what they're supposed to do. Texas dominated the game from the first quarter on, and I absolutely loved it. But, guys, you guys know what you're here for. You guys know that I track my own stats, my own custom number, the NinosCorner number, NCN. And we're going to get into that and talk about our skill positions, our wide receivers, our tight ends, our running backs, and just how they did as far as their skill position when it came to, playing here in Texas. So with the NCN, with the NinosCorner number, having a NCN offense, NCN defense. 40% or 40 points is the average for the offensive side of the ball. 45 points is the average for the defensive side of the ball when it comes to the team and the player numbers as well. So first off, guys, let's just dig into the numbers for the teams, and then we'll go to the individual players. Now, if you look at the teams here, guys, the NCN for Texas offense, guys, mind you, the average is 40 points. The NCN for the Texas offense was 61.12 for the entire game. Hey, guys, they were good. They had no turnovers for the game, which is great. They allowed 3 sacks for the game. They had a total of 435 yards. They had 4 penalties along the offensive line, which has to get better, and we'll talk about that later. They allowed 2 tackles for loss. The offensive line did, but the team scored 5 touchdowns. They had a success rate, so meaning their plays that were successful as in nature for the game. So first down, you had to get at least 50% of the yardage on first down. Second down, at least 70% of that. And third down, you got to get a first down. If you don't get a first down on third down, on fourth down, you got to get a first down. Those are successful plays. So 42.65% of the Texas offensive plays for the entire game were successful in nature. That number has to get up a little bit higher. You kind of want to see that number in the 45 to 50% range or better, but that takes for the totality of the game. Texas on the offense side of the ball for the first quarter had a success rate of 33%, which was a little bit low. Second quarter, again, 33%. But the light clicked on in the third quarter. Hudson Card kind of did his thing. Bijan did his thing. Their success rating for that quarter was 58.82%. So let's just say 59%. 46.67 in the fourth quarter, with that whole quarter led by Casey Thompson and Keelan Robinson. 61.12 was their NCN offense. Now, for Louisiana, their NCN offense was 49.9, a little bit above average, but definitely less than what Texas was doing, and we can see why. They had 1 turnover, which is a fumble that was forced by Dunn. They allowed 3 sacks as well. I think they had 336 total yards. They had 2 penalties, 3 tackles for loss that they allowed, and then they only scored 2 touchdowns. So kudos to the Texas defense for holding that offense from Louisiana down. And mind you, that team is in the Sun Belt, but they did beat Iowa State last year, guys, and Iowa State beat us and gave a bunch of people some problems. So looking at the Texas defense, the NCN defense, like I said, guys, the average score for a defense is 45 points for the NCN score. Texas was right on that on like that range, 45.1 points for the NCN defense. Okay, which you guys say, oh, that's kind of average. Well, you got to take into account that that fourth quarter was a lot of points they had a lot of empty yards from Louisiana, so that kind of hurt them. What you want to look at, guys, is that first, second, and third quarter. That first, second, and third quarter. The first quarter, the NCN defense, for Texas was 54.68, which is really good, very, very good. Second quarter, 40.8, really good. Third quarter, 44.3. So Well, I shouldn't say really good for the 40.8, but they were right around average, 41 points, 42, 40, well, yeah, 41 points for the second quarter, around 45 points for the third quarter. But the first quarter, they kind of set the foundation there at a 55-point NCN. The fourth quarter, when they were easing up a lot, 25.9 points for the NCN defense. But hey, guys, those were a lot of gimme yards, a lot of empty calorie yards from Louisiana. Texas had the game in hand. They weren't going to lose that game. They just kept the ball just underneath and in front of them, causing, the Raging Cajuns to get some yards. So if you take a look at the opponent's NCN defense, Louisiana had an NCN defense of 29.5, which is far below average, guys. You're talking about 16 points below the NCAA average. And I won't go through all the numbers. Their defense was not that good. But mind you, it was more of our guys being really good. So really encouraged to see what Texas did on the offensive side of the ball. Very encouraged to see what Texas did on the defensive side of the ball. But guys, you're here to, to actually hear me talk about our skill positions. And our skill positions, let's just go ahead and talk about it, guys. Let's talk about the wide receiver position. 3 wide receivers got targets, 3 wide receivers got catches. Like I said, continuity between the wide receivers and the quarterback, Hudson Card, really good. Let's look at our main guy, Jordan Whittington. Jordan Whittington posted an NCN receiving of 84.3 points. Truly amazing. The average score, guys, is around 40 points. 84.3, he doubled that up, basically. So 8 targets, 6 receptions, guys, 113 yards. Over half of those yards were yak, yards after catch, 57 yards of yak. What I do like about Jordan Whittington, guys, is he had 1 touchdown, 3 explosive plays. So out of his 6 catches, 3 of them were explosive in nature, meaning that 3 of those plays were 15 yards or more. Really good. Successful plays. Out of those 6 catches, all 6 were successful plays. And you guys know what the successful plays are. The SPs, or AKA successful plays that you either get at least half of the yardage needed on first down, at least 70% of the yardage needed on second down, all the yardage on third down. If you fell on third down, all the yardage on fourth down. Every play, every catch that Jordan Whittington had, he met one of those metrics. Really good from Jordan Whittington. So you're talking about a guy who had 100%, successful play per reception metric and a 75%, SP per target. No drops, guys, which is great. So Jordan Whittington, I think, is going to be the bell cow for this team when it comes to receiving. Probably, if not our second most important player on this team, he might be our most important player on this team, because the drop off behind Jordan Whittington and the rest of the wide receivers, I think it's a pretty big gap. The drop off between Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson and Keelan Robinson is a nice gap too, but I don't think it's as large as Jordan Whittington and the other receivers. And that says a lot, because Bijan is probably the best running back here in the country. Let's take a look at our second highest ranked wide receiver, and that's Xavier Worthy. 65.33 points for the NCN receptions. 2 targets, 1 reception, 34 yards, no touchdowns. But that 1 catch, guys, was that was an explosive play, a successful play, and a first down. A bunch of metrics there. 65.33. He was continuously streaking down the field open. If Hudson Card can get a little bit more time to throw that ball, there's a couple of touchdowns that were missed. There's still some meat on the bone from that last game. It's going to be good to see what this team's going to be able to do in scheme against Arkansas. The last receiver, the only other receiver to get a reception, is Josh Moore. 5 targets, 3 receptions, only 17 yards, 6 yards after catch. He had a 12.09 NCN reception. So what does this tell you about Josh Moore? Josh Moore was very effective last year in certain games, but just not consistent enough. But this basically shows that when Jordan Whittington is healthy, Jordan Whittington is our guy. Josh Moore is a good second piece, maybe even a third piece. But Jordan Whittington is our guy. We got to keep this guy healthy. My only thing about this team, it's going to be very interesting to see how this team is going to do, or what Troy Amiri is going to do when he gets back into the fold from his knee injury. All right, guys, the tight ends. We only had 1 tight end who had a target or reception, and that was Cade Brewer. 2 targets, 1 reception, 6 yards, and a touchdown. So he had a 71.11 NCN receiving. So that one catch, of course, was a first down or a touchdown. So, first down, a touchdown, an explosive play. Did I kind of explosive? No, not an explosive play. I'm sorry about that, guys. But a successful play, which is what you want. And hey, it was a perfectly thrown ball from Hudson Card, where that ball was either going to be caught by the tight end or incomplete. And that's what you want. You don't want any interceptions, especially in the red zone. You want points when you're coming from the red zone. And that's what we were able to get here from Hudson Card in this game. But shout out to K Brewer. What's he been here, 5 years now? So he's been playing really well. Just hopefully he can get over this hump, no injuries, play very well, get drafted this year. So guys, NCN rushing. Let's take a look at the NCN rushing. We all know who the bell cow is, and that's Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson had 20 attempts, 103 yards, 5.15 yards per attempt. Out of those 20 attempts, 6 were first down. He had a touchdown, 2 explosive plays, 9 successful plays, no fumbles. His NCN rushing, guys, 65.31. Very good. The average is about 45 points. He had a 65.31, so 20 points better than the NCAA average. So, like I said, what do we like about this? The 2 explosive plays out of those 20 attempts means 10% of his attempts were explosive plays, meaning, hey, every 10th carry is 15 yards or more. That's actually pretty good for a running back. Successful plays, 9 successful plays out of his 20 attempts. You kind of want to see that around the 50% range or better. But we'll take 45% from Bijan. It was a hell of a game from him. The next guy in line when it comes to the NCN rushing is Keelan Robinson. He had a 56.98 NCN rushing, 8 attempts, 41 yards, guys. Out of those 8 attempts, he had 2 first downs. He had 1 explosive play. He had four successful plays. So a 50% successful play per attempt metric, a 12.5% explosive play per attempt metric, and first downs per attempt, 25%. So 1 out of every 4 carries, he got a first down. And that is exactly what you want from your running back. Ideally, you want 1 out of 3. You want 1 out of 3 to 1 out of 4. That means if I can sit back, hike the ball, and hand that rock off to my running back 4 times in a row, I should be able to get a first down if I hand the ball up to that guy 4 times in a row. Bijan, his first down per attempt was 30%, which is good. You want around 33%. That's kind of like your really good range. But him and Keelan will basically 25 for Keelan and 30% for Bijan, respectively. So really good game from Keelan Robinson. I was very, very excited to see him. I mean, he is, folks wanted to call him the gadget guy. He's not the gadget guy. That guy can ball, man. He can go in between the tackles. He can catch the ball well, as well, even though we didn't see him catch the ball this game. But you can tell he's very fluid. And the next guy in line, when we talk about running backs, is Roschon Johnson. Didn't have the best day running the ball. 8 carries, 27 yards, 3.38 yards per attempt, 24.76 NCN rushing. So when you look at that, you say, hey, he didn't have any explosive plays. He didn't have any successful plays. He didn't have any first downs, no touchdowns, rushing the ball. But what he didn't do rushing the ball, Roschon Johnson did very well catching the ball. And we'll talk about the running backs and how they receive the ball. And let's start with Roschon Johnson. Roschon had a 71.19 NCN receiving, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 22 yards, so 100% catch percentage. Yards per target, 11 yards per target, 11 yards per attempt. He had 2 first downs. No explosive plays, but 2 successful plays. So he did his job catching the ball out the backfield, which is what you want to see in the Steve Sarkisian offense. So last year, we're definitely able to see that when he was at Alabama with Najee Harris and how well he caught the ball out of the backfield. And we saw that a lot here between Roschon and also Bijan Robinson as well. So talking about Bijan had 122.44 NCN receiving. 4 targets, 4 receptions, guys. 73 yards is what I have him for. 18.25 yards per target and yards per reception because he had no drops or no incompletes thrown his way. Out of those 4 targets, 3 first downs, folks. So a first down per reception and target of 75%. He had a touchdown reception, which 25% touchdown per target and touchdown per reception. how many explosive plays did Bijan have? He had 3 explosive plays out of those 4 catches, meaning that out of those 4 catches, guys, 3 of them went for 15 yards or more. Truly outstanding. All 4 of his catches were successful plays. Of course, no drops. 62 yards after catch. And let me see, Roschon had 28 yards after catch, so that was really good. And yeah, no drops from so no drops from Roschon or no drops from Bijan. Keelan Robinson had no catches, guys, and I don't think any targets as well. So, guys, really good game. Very good metrics here, guys. Go to NinosCornerSports.com, guys. NinosCorner Sports.com, NinosCornerSports.com. You can see all these real time. I track these week by week. Just picture this, guys, that's like a pro football focus for Texas, football, and it's my own stats. So I had a great time tracking these. Next week, these metrics will be up a whole lot sooner, just for the simple fact that I was able to get some kinks out of the system and just get everything working. But one more stat, guys. Let's talk about Hudson Card and his rushing ability. 3 attempts, 13 yards, 2 first downs, a touchdown, and 2 successful plays out of those 3, rushing yards. So really good game. Very, very, very good game. I thoroughly enjoyed the game, guys. I think Texas is definitely doing their thing. I'm very excited to see how Texas is actually going to do against, Arkansas and the likes of Arkansas. I think they got a very good shot to do very well against Arkansas. As you know, guys, Arkansas just played Rice, and Texas plays Rice after they play Arkansas. Rice was actually leading that game in the third quarter. I think Texas should fare very well against Arkansas. I don't think Arkansas's defensive line is better than Louisiana's, which is saying a lot because it is an SEC team that can recruit and get those SEC talented players on their roster. But overall, good game from Texas. It was good to see them kind of have a thorough, dominant game from start to finish. In the past, Texas would play down to their competition. You didn't see that happen in this game. Texas was truly all gas, no brakes, meaning that they were full throttle. They did their thing for the entire game. Truly loved it. I'll end this on one more metric, guys. One thing that really caught my eye was the quarterback passing success rates. And we already talked about what the success rates are. I'm not going to repeat it. But if we do the success rates per down, right? So on first down, Louisiana thoroughly embarrassed us on their quarterback success rate. 65% QB success rate on the first down. Texas, 10%. But second down, what happens? Texas's success rate on second down for the quarterback passing was 56%. Louisiana's was 47%. So you're seeing this inverse relationship, right? Third down, Louisiana's success rate was 29%. Texas's was 80% on third down. So what's that tell you, guys? Louisiana started hot on first down. They got 5 yards more on first down. But on second and third down passing the ball, when they needed to pass the ball and make plays, Texas defense was not having it. They made Levi Lewis look like he was nothing for the entire game in the second and third downs, which is what you want. It's fine. Get your 5 yards on first down. Let us look at you. Let us look at your plays. Let us adjust. We adjust. Second down, we shut you down. Third down, we shut you down as well. And, inversely, when you look at Texas, what did Texas do? They didn't do too well passing ball on first down. And it's cool. We got a brand new quarterback, a freshman quarterback, a redshirt freshman, first game starting. So, safer plays, maybe not getting the full 5 yards, maybe getting 3 or 4 yards, just get a little bit. But on second down, what did Hudson do when he passed the ball? He got better. On third down, what did he do? He really got better. As evident on that pass to Jordan Whittington on third down, where we got a first down, I think we needed like 11 yards. And also as evident on that Bijan Robinson catch, I think on the third down as well, that led us down, I think, into the red zone. And I think we scored 2 plays later. So Hudson got more comfortable as the drive went on, meaning that he was basically tearing that defense apart on second and third down. Levi Lewis got a little bit more uncomfortable as the downs progressed, going from first, second, to third. So an inverse relationship where, yes, Louisiana started off hot on the first downs, got worse on second down, got even worse on third down. Texas started off worse on first down, got better on second down, even better on third down. And that led us to 5 out of 7 scoring drives, if I'm not mistaken. And we should have had 6 out of 7 if Cameron Dicker could have hit that field goal. But guys, go to NinosCornerSports.com, guys. Check out all the metrics there. I got all the graphs there for you. You can take a look. You can click on the running back section. You can click on the wide receiver. You can click on the tight end section, and you can look at the NCN, scores for for each week. All right. And so if these guys had metrics from last year, also you can see their metrics, just from the previous year as well. But I'm going to track this every week. You guys are going to see this every week, man. So thank you for tuning in, man. But hey, on this note, guys, you know how I always end all my episodes. Do you. Don't be afraid to fail. Outgrow your environment. Understand your brilliance, man. And Nino's Corner, I'm out. And be on the lookout next week, week 2. Hopefully we are getting a W against Arkansas when I am recording this next video. On that note, guys, Nino's Corner, I'm out. Salute. Love you guys.